You're watching Color 10 News at 10 in high definition.
All week, firefighters have focused their attention on one small white house in Springfield. Good evening, I'm Ashley Ketz. Crews rush in and out of the home as part of training. New at 10, Kevin Schwaller ventured into the smoke to show the exercise meant to protect the people who protect us.
Firefighters in Springfield have been making Mayday calls this week, but they're not real. It's all for practice. They're trying to prepare for rescuing one of their own.
Arrive to a house fire.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. I'm going to use your traps. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Mayday's an issue. The firefighter's lost, disoriented. He's out of air.
Before the first firefighter disappears into the smoke,
Mayday traffic, go ahead.
Captain John Rosie Greer prepares the group.
So we'll just kind of switch it up.
They put on their gloves, helmets. What's not hindered by pounds of gear and clothes is crowded by the smoke the moment they enter the door.
You can't see, so you follow around, follow your guys, stay close.
In the darkness, the call comes out.
The firefighters are the rescuers, not the rescuees. So it be the floor collapse.
Command copies. Engine 11,
A
firefighters.
crew trapped inside.
The third member may be lost and disoriented. We want to get the guys used to having that radio in their hand and calling that Mayday. That's not typically something firefighters do. Firefighters are there to fix the problem, not be a problem.
Going into the unknown, knowing the dangers, that's routine here.
Been working hard to get here.
Luke Prophet started as a firefighter in September.
As far as the difference between pulling somebody out that's just a victim or pulling out somebody that's one of our guys, you know, we have all over here that gets caught on stuff in your packs, and it's just heavier, more cumbersome, a little more intense probably because it's one of our own.
And with this rescue complete, Captain Greer hopes the only time he hears that Mayday call
It's not something that we ever want to hear on the radio.
in a house like this one with no flames, plenty of firefighters, and the relief of knowing when they go back to the station, everyone's coming back unharmed.
The fire department does these kinds of drills once a quarter, and tonight it's not just Springfield. Logan, Rogersville, and Battlefield are also out here. Reporting in Springfield, I'm Kevin Schwaller.
And firefighters are required to have at least 20 hours a month of training in areas such as technical rescue, water rescue, hazardous materials, and other areas.
We're all going to go inside.
This is also a drill. Teachers in Nixa learn to protect themselves and students during an active shooting emergency. Police and Nixa Public Schools held 3 training sessions today.
When that actually happens, and I pray it doesn't, but if a situation were to occur, those pathways are set in your mind and you're going to go through those motions.
The teachers also learned methods of barricading doors to give law enforcement extra time to get to the victim and the possible gunman. Arkansas's House of Representatives has shot down a bill that would have lowered the cost of concealed carry gun licenses. The proposal was to cut the fee in half from $100 to $50, $25 for seniors or veterans, and free for anyone with an active restraining order. Arkansas State Police are taking in an all-time high, more than 6,000 concealed carry applications a month. One of the applications is for Wendy Barrett, who doesn't mind paying $100.
Oh, I don't think it's excessive. I mean, I think it's reasonable.
The concern was that cutting the fee would take away funding from the Arkansas State Police budget. ASP says the fee goes to fingerprinting, processing thousands of applications, and recruiting new troopers. The number of traffic crashes in Springfield is down, yet the number of fatal crashes is up. Last year, 23 people died in crashes in Springfield. Color 10's Lindsay Klein shows what the city is doing to try to reduce that number.
This is not the record year as far as fatalities, but we're not where we want to be either.
While the numbers for traffic and injury crashes in Springfield are declining, the number of fatal crashes is doing the opposite.
We're trying to bring the stats down. That's why we have the crash report card for education.
The report card shows that from January to October of 2012, there were 18 fatal crashes in Springfield. That's 11 more fatal accidents, up from 7 in 2011.
Fatality crashes are usually angle crashes. Obviously, if they're involving pedestrian, that's a totally different story.
According to city workers, much of the blame points toward drunk driving, drug use, and driving while distracted.
We did have an unproportional number of pedestrians killed this year.
Pedestrians often cross the street and aren't paying attention. They either have their headphones in or are texting, which makes them a much easier target to get hit by a car.
We can observe school kids. They're glued to their phones, looking down, not paying attention to what's going on.
Checking their phones when they're driving. Some of the people crossing the street are checking their phones.
Ozarks Technical Community College is taking several safety precautions.
Designated crosswalks, bright colored signage.
To make sure students get across campus safely.
I think at certain times, we do have some close calls.
Close calls that show just how dangerous being distracted can be.
It is a dangerous situation, especially when you have thousands of students every single day crossing major streets.
City workers tell us fewer people seem to be running red lights at the big intersections where red light cameras used to be turned on. The cameras are now off, but we're told the program reduced the number of people running red lights significantly. Southwest Airlines will be touching down tomorrow in Branson. The airline will begin nonstop flights from Branson to Chicago Midway, Houston Hobby, and Dallas Fort Worth. There will also be Saturday service between Branson and Orlando. Southwest is taking over the routes that were served by AirTran, a smaller airline which Southwest purchased. Jamie Warner is in the weather lab tonight watching some rain chances for the weekend.
Yeah, rain chances are actually increasing right now. We had a few sprinkles earlier this evening, right around 6 to 6:30 here in Springfield. Not much since then. Temperatures have been slow to cool. Only 50 at this hour in Springfield, although into the 40s to our east. It's not going to get a lot colder than where we are right now. It is going to get wetter, though. Right now on radar, really beginning to fill in with light rain showers, and some of the rain actually coming down pretty good in areas like Camdenton over the last half hour. Lake Ozark finding some maybe moderate rains at this hour. Light rains moving through Rolla. Further southwest, we've had one batch of showers move through Stockton and the Lockwood area. And we've got another round of heavier showers now making their way through Avila. Those showers are making their way into Dade County and northern Lawrence County. Everything tracking toward the northeast. Then further south, that rain also filling in down across Berry County and to Carroll County as well as Newton County. And that activity is all going to be spreading northeast. So it looks like we're going to see wet roadways developing across the Ozarks over the next few hours. That rain, though, moving out in time for sunrise on Saturday. And I think we'll get a little morning sunshine pushing temperatures into the 60s. Another round, heavier round of rain moving in during the afternoon.
Thanks, Jamie. Color 10 digs deeper to understand job losses here in the Ozarks. Yesterday, we reported the Dairy Farmers of America plans to close its Monette plant. 86 people will lose their jobs. The DFA claims those layoffs are necessary due to the deficit milk market, but there may be more to the story. Color 10's Laurie Patton found the DFA was also part of a multi-state, multi-million-dollar antitrust lawsuit.
The lawsuit was brought by dairy farmers and claims the Dairy Farmers of America organization and other defendants violated federal antitrust laws and paid the dairy farmers less than their milk was worth. The DFA agreed to a multi-million-dollar settlement instead of going to trial. As part of the deal, farmers will be paid more than $158 million. In the settlement agreement, the defendants, which include DFA, spell out a way to raise millions for their settlement fund by changing the distribution of milk. The plan is to reduce or eliminate milk shipped to facilities like Monette, where milk is only used as an ingredient in cheese, in favor of shipping to other facilities like Highland Dairy in Springfield, which is a Class 1 facility. We've spoken to multiple farmers in Southwest Missouri who are taking part in claiming money from this class action suit. They didn't want to go on camera, however, because they're still in the position of having to sell their milk to the Dairy Farmers of America.
Monica Massey from Dairy Farmers of America sent Color 10 this statement. It reads, "We are a member-owned organization, so we have an obligation to the member not to lose their money, and we've been losing money in Monette for several years now. In the Southeast, we call that a milk deficit market, and we've been bringing milk in from other areas like Kansas and Texas." If you would like to read the lawsuit settlement agreement, just look for this story on our website, ozarksfirst.com. The national unemployment rate is down. It is 7.7%. The highest job gains were in construction, but almost every industry is hiring. The government says employers added 236,000 jobs in February. That's much higher than the 160,000 predicted. 7.7 is the lowest unemployment rate in 4 years. New at 10, Jasper County, Missouri is the first certified work-ready community in the nation. That means the community reached a standard set by the Nonprofit Act. It measures how ready employees are and their abilities to succeed in the workforce. State and local leaders say this will be a catalyst for economic growth.
Getting the testing and the competency certification is very important. You know, employers want to make sure they have workers that know what they're doing and are trained to do it. This makes Jasper County a great place in America to invest dollars.
Community leaders say they would not have achieved this designation without receiving the National Career Readiness Certificate. It measures a person's skill set to see if that person can be hired. Catholic cardinals now have a date to begin the process of picking the next pope.
And on Tuesday morning, we will have an opening mass, which all the faithful are invited to, and in the afternoon, the first vote.
The number of votes someone must receive to be elected pope and how long it took during the last conclave. In tonight's faith coverage, the election of a new pope could just be days away. Today, Catholic cardinals announced they will begin voting on Tuesday. The conclave lasts until someone receives 77 votes. That's when bells will ring and white smoke will flow from a chimney atop the Sistine Chapel.
I have every confidence that by the end of next week, we might see some white smoke.
The conclave to elect the last Pope, Benedict XVI, lasted 2 days. Now, more local news. Opponents of a Walmart neighborhood market going up on Grand Avenue near MSU are trying to get enough petition signatures to overturn the rezoning approved by the City Council. The petition drive was held at the downtown market today. That group hopes to stop the market from being built. 1,700 signatures are needed. The group plans on holding more petition drives in other locations. And let's check back in with Jamie Warner on what we can expect for our weather in the Ozarks this weekend.
Well, it looks like rounds of wet weather. In fact, the latest model guidance that has come in indicates that the trends for even wetter weather or greater rainfall totals may be with us through this upcoming weekend. We'll talk about that and take a look at radar, which is already showing some areas of heavier shower activity to our west. It's all coming up.
And now weather with Color 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.
All right, well, things are starting to get wet across the Ozarks. We've seen these showers begin to really develop here over the last couple of hours, especially now to the south and west of Springfield. Some heavier showers developing just to the north and east of the Joplin area. Here's a look at radar. Again, we've got areas of mainly light rain to the north, but we've got some heavier showers now developing here to the west of Springfield. And we're going to go ahead and stop this and kind of point out some of this activity that we've got going on. You can see in the Lockwood area, it looks like we've got some light to moderate rains, and you see some heavier showers right in here now beginning to make their way into parts of Dade County and northern Lawrence County. It looks like to the west of Miller, we've got some heavier shower activity. And even further south as you cross over I-44 down towards areas like Aurora here in Lawrence County and Monette. we've got some areas of light rain with some heavier showers to the south and west of Monette. Everything tracking toward the northeast. So if you're not getting those heavier showers now, you probably will over the next half hour. And this is just round number one. This is basically the moisture now moving back north into the area ahead of this storm system that you see parked across Southern California. You can see that sort of pinwheeling now across Southern California here into Arizona. Now, most of today, it's just been upper level moisture that's been moving across the Ozarks. Now we're tapping that Gulf of Mexico, the moisture heading north, and that's why we're getting the shower activity that's beginning to develop across Missouri. This will move out later on tonight. And then this is what we're going to be dealing with later during the day on Saturday into Saturday night. That band of showers and even some thunder, I think, across western Texas, that will be making its way east across Oklahoma and Kansas and eventually make its way into the Ozarks tomorrow afternoon. Let's go ahead and take you hour by hour. Again, here's tonight's shower activity. Notice how it generally lifts on out of the area by sunrise on Saturday. And then during the morning on Saturday, there's going to be a period there where we're going to have some breaks in the clouds. We're going to get a little sunshine. And that may be enough to push temperatures into the mid to possibly upper 60s. And then as we get into the afternoon on Saturday, here's that band of showers with some embedded thunder. That will make its way east to about Highway 65, probably by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it will spread further east toward Highway 63 by early evening Saturday, and then that band of showers and some thunder will tend to sit over the area. Now, this isn't a severe weather scenario. Yes, there's going to be a lot of wind shear, a lot of strong winds with this system, but they're generally out of the same direction, and there's really not much in the way of instability. So that's the good news. The bad news is we could get some locally heavy rains, and again, the latest guidance has indicated that we could be looking at rainfall totals of maybe as much as 1 to 2 inches of rainfall across a large chunk of the Ozarks. Of course, we still need it. We're in a drought situation, so we'll take what we get out of the system. Just be prepared for a wet night Saturday night with a few lingering showers into the daytime hours on Sunday. Monday, a few lingering clouds in the morning. Those will move out, and then it'll be cold. We'll have the sunshine, but highs will only be in the 40s. We'll get on the west side of that area high pressure on Tuesday, and that will mean a quick warm-up. With sunny skies, we'll see afternoon temperatures up near 60 degrees. There will be a few fronts sort of wobbling around the Ozarks later next week, but the general trend will be for quiet, mainly sunny, and mild temperatures. And I think we're looking at highs in the 60s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday with overnight lows above freezing. And we could time it out right so that one of those days at least we could hit 70.
Wow, and with the sun too, that's going to make it feel like spring.
Second half of next week, really the second 2/3 of next week looking pretty good.
Wow, all right, can't wait. Thanks, Jamie.
You bet.
I wish we could keep on playing because I don't want my season to end, but that's not how it works, and sometimes you got to move on in life.
The Missouri State Bears putting up a great fight in St. Louis, but didn't quite have enough to shock the Valley. Nick's next with sports.
And now, the Chevy Dealer Sports Report with Nick Carboni.
After a 2-10 start to the season, Missouri State really turned it around once Valley Play hit, showing grit, determination, and competitive fire. And all were on display tonight in the Arch Madness quarters, but not enough to beat Wichita State. Dan Lucy is in St. Louis.
The Shockers have had the Bears number during the Paul Lusk era, going 4-0. In fact, this season, the average margin of victory has been nearly 20 points. Wichita State, however, is going into Arch Madness on a 2-game losing streak. Marcus Marshall came into the game needing only 4 points to become the Bears' all-time freshman scoring leader. This free throw at the 12-minute mark moved him past Blake Ahern. The Bears led early, but Wichita would catch them on this Cleanthony early hoop and foul, and we're tied at 15. Wichita native Gavin Thurman hits this long two to tie the game up at 21. The Shockers ended the half on an 8-1 run. Carl Hall fights for this basket inside, and Wichita State owned a 29-24 halftime lead. Keith Pickens opens the second half with this reverse layup and foul to make it a 2-point game. Ron Baker's three capped a 13-3 Shockers run, and Wichita was up 10, 44-34. Missouri State had one last punch. Marcus Marshall with this three ties it at 46. Marshall ended the game with 25 points, tying a Valley Tournament freshman record. The Shockers would slam the door with this Fred Van Fleet three, and Wichita State ends the Bears season 69-59.
Well, right now, it really doesn't mean much. I mean, everything really means a lot to these guys right here. I mean, these are two seniors. I'm just really happy how they went out and how they fought and everything like that. I mean, throughout the whole season. I wish we could keep on playing because I don't want my season to end, but that's not how it works, and sometimes you got to move on in life. But I feel real good how my team fought.
I just wanted to leave it all on the court for the conference tournament and give the younger guys a better understanding of what it means to go hard at all times.
So the Missouri State season ends in the quarterfinals, but the future looks bright for the Bears. Marcus Marshall left his impression here in St. Louis. 2 games, 43 points. At Arch Madness, Dan Lucy reporting.
All right, thanks, Dan. A great fight for the Bears. Meanwhile, 3 local hoops teams will look for state championship trophies tomorrow. Justin Doherty has more from Columbia.
Thanks, Nick. Championship Saturday is just one day away, and so today it's practice day. Crane and Eminence here for the first time, but it's a familiar place for the Walnut Grove Lady Tigers.
Last year we weren't that veteran team. We just didn't have that experience, and this year we know what it's like. We know the atmosphere, and just to control the things you can control.
Taking away from the championship experience in last year's 1-point loss to Eminence, the senior-less Lady Tigers believe this year is their year against Chamois.
They've thought about it all year, what to do when we got back to this point, so I think they know how to handle themselves, and the biggest word I guess you could say is just focus right now. They're ready to go.
Knowing how it feels last year, knowing exactly what we're playing for and that feeling, I think that'll definitely be what we need to get into that game.
Although Walnut Grove doesn't have to worry about Eminence this time, the Red Wings do have a team playing for a Class 1 championship.
We had to kind of prove ourselves a little bit. The girls won volleyball and basketball last year, so it was we knew we had to step up a little bit.
Eminence will take on Stanberry for a chance at the Red Wings' first state title.
There won't be anybody in town tomorrow, I can tell you. They'll all be here. They're proud. They support our kids, like no other. It's amazing for such a small community to come out like they do for us.
As for Class 2, Crane has a chance to win their first state title in Lady Pirate history.
You got to understand what it is about. You're on this big stage and what you're doing, but at the same time, understand one possession, one possession at a time. And that's what we're taking it as.
They won by 3 points in the quarterfinals and 19 last night, but Crane still feels like they have plenty to prove against the Shamrocks of New Haven.
We had good intensity in our practice today, as Coach always expects from us, but I think for the most part everyone's calm and we're all ready.
And Nick, all the action tomorrow night will take place here at Mizzou Arena, where Crane and Eminence will look to make school history, and Walnut Grove will try to erase the memory of last season. In Columbia, Justin Doherty, Color 10 Sports.
NAIA D2 tourney and Point Lookout. C of O moving on in tomorrow's quarters, beating Southern Oregon 76-59. Lady Bobcats season is done. They lose by 13 to Briar Cliff. Trey Massenberg's walk-off single in the 10th inning, giving the baseball Bears a 2-1 win over Northwestern at home. Nick Petrie striking out 8 and 7 scoreless. And the Chiefs signing cornerback Dante Robinson to a 3-year deal. He was a Falcon.
Good news there. Thank you, Nick. We'll be right back.
Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers. Color 10 News will continue in a moment.
Quickly, we have a split weekend, kind of.
We do, and I was outside earlier. We're already seeing some sprinkles, so look for wet roadways from here on out this evening, and then tomorrow another round of heavy rain. Could see over an inch of rainfall this weekend.
All right, have a great weekend.